Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, thank you so much for what? No. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome back to Budget with Ira. Yeah, I got that right, well done. It's not like you've not done it over 100 times. In today's video, we are doing my debt confession. And I know I've done a couple of these videos before, but this is probably the last time I am ever gonna do a debt confession. Probably the next video I talk about my debt is when I say, I'm debt free, which is going to be a wonderful video, and like, don't get me wrong, but like this video is like the final time I'm really diving into and talking about my debt, because I'm still sort of in it. I still have debt, but it's teeny tiny, and it's teeny tiny because of a lot of effort has gone in, a lot of motivation, and just a lot of stick-with-itness. But besties, the sort of debt-free journey for me hasn't been without its challenges. Along the way, I've had to remind myself, why am I actually trying to get out of debt? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I depriving myself of things that I want? Why am I doing this? And I've had to really take a step back along the journey and really remind myself about why am I doing it? In this video, I'm going to be talking about the things that I've struggled with along my debt-free journey, because it's not easy, and there are plenty of us that are on debt-free journeys that have successfully completed their debt-free journey, but people that have also fallen off the wagon. So in today's video, we're talking about motivation and how you keep on track and how you keep yourself accountable. A debt-free journey is completely personal. So even though I'm sharing with you what I'm doing or what I've done, it might not necessarily work for you. So finding your own path is super important. So in today's video, I do have a new product to show you on Etsy. It is going to be available right now. It's not necessarily something that you definitely need to complete a debt-free journey. However, it might be super helpful. So in this video, I'm going to be working through my new debt diary workbook. I'm going to be filling in my debt diary with what debt I have left and sharing you my numbers and my struggles and things like that, so that you can see whether it's something that would help you and benefit you along your journey. If you would like to know exactly how much debt I have remaining and what I'm going to do to make sure that is done and dusted, please keep on watching, besties. So let's go ahead and have a look at this new product, and then I'll start talking to you about my debt. Okay, so what I'm going to be showing you today is something that is a long time coming. It's something that I didn't bring out for a really long time because it was more of a thing of, do I really believe in myself? Who am I to be talking about debt, like in terms of potentially advice and like stuff like that? So I had a lot of doubts in my head, but I have actualized this and I am beyond proud of it. So let me introduce to you my debt diary. So you'll notice from this, it is a booklet and it is square. So it's the width of A4 and the height is the same. It's a square booklet. So it's really nice and user-friendly, and it's completely different to anything I've ever done. And even the font is different as well, because it's softer. It's a kinder place. It's not quite as aggressive and not quite as matter of fact. It is a nice place to talk about your debt. So we're going to go through each page by page, and I'm going to be filling in my details as well. So front cover, beautiful. This is the sort of theme of it. It is softer. We've got pastel rainbows. It's really pretty, and we're using font option 6 as well. So if you wanted cash envelopes to match this is font option 6, besties. So anyway, let's move into the front page, and it is a big wide spread. So we have got out into the camera. The angle is wider, but basically on this page you've got a how to pay off your debt. So it is the 6 most common debt payment strategies, and I know that I didn't use any of these, and I'll tell you about that in a sec. So for instance, the first one is the avalanche. So it tells you that the avalanche is, you list all of your debts with the highest interest at the top, you make the minimum payment towards all of your debts, but you focus on the debt with the highest interest rate first, making all overpayments go towards that debt. So your highest interest rate would be at the top, and then anything extra that you have would go towards that one, so that you're paying less interest. So this method can help you pay off your debt debt quicker because you pay less to interest, if that makes sense. So this page is really, really useful, and especially if you are struggling towards the middle, you can go back and you can always change the method that you're paying off of your debt. You don't have to stick with one throughout the whole time. So for me, I kind of did that, but I kind of did the reverse snowball. So I had my biggest at the top, but I jumped from debt to debt because I tackled the ones that were emotionally the worst for me. So the first one was the credit card, then I moved to like the store card. Like the store card was one of the last ones, and then my very last one is my student loan. So I sort of tackled them bit by bit, and the one that weighed heavily on me the most. So yeah, I'm left with one last debt, and we're going to fill in my debt confession. So at the top it says, take the time to list all of your debt in your chosen method, so whichever method that makes sense to you, and how much do you owe. So in the payment column, you're supposed to write your minimum or the inflated amount due to your debt snowball, debt avalanche, or direct debit if you're using any of those methods. So let me grab a pen, and I'm going to write my first and only debt, which is, let me just tilt the page. So my debt is my student loan. And the interest rate is a little bit of a bugger, because for the whole time I've had it, it's been 1.1%. But now that I'm down to not very much, they're starting to charge more. So it's actually 2.75%, which I know in the grand scheme of things is not a lot, but it's still super cheeky. So how much I owe now is £650 and 52 pence. Yeah, so that is everything that I owe, and I'll show you a breakdown on all of that, what I've done with this particular debt. So normally in here you'd write your minimum payment and what you're supposed to do, but like with student loan it's really, really different in the UK. So in the UK you pay a certain percent of your salary, but now that I am owing less than £1,000, I can pay however much I want, however often. So I am trying to pay 10% of my gross taking. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to have it cleared by Christmas. So once you've listed all of your debts, it will, you can list up to 8 debts here. If you have more than 8 debts, it might be worthwhile just listing the top 8 according to whichever method you do, because if you have more than that, it might become a bit more overwhelming, or you could like bulk them into a couple, but normally 8 debts is pretty normal. So my total debt number is all of that combined, which is 650.52, and my minimum payment all combined is 10%. So the thing that I want to draw your attention to on this page is the bit where it says at the bottom, it says, this number does not define you. You are more than this number. You will overcome this. So there's a lot in the debt-free community about your number, and it's big and it's huge, and I purposely have put it down there because I don't want you to open a booklet and the first thing you see is a huge debt number. It's going to make you feel rubbish. So like, it's down there, it's there, it's important to know it. Like, don't get me wrong, we need to know our debt number, but it's not the defining thing. It's not the defining factor, and we will overcome it. Let's move over to the next page. Now, these pages are really, really fun to me. Let me just put it back into frame. This is a big booklet, besties. So this page here on the left is called Find Your Why, and it's a really important page, and I wish I had this page throughout my debt-free journey. So if you remember at the start of the video, I was talking about I forgot why I was paying down debt, and then when you forget why you're paying down debt, you lose your motivation, because like, what's the point? I'd rather just like live my life. Does that make sense? So I've done a page here about you finding your why and figuring out your why, and a page that you can refer back to when you do have those weak moments, and when you have those moments when you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I struggling so hard? So that you can refer to it and go, yes, that is why I'm doing this, and I'm going to continue to do it. So I've done some prompts here. So some of them are to have a better life for me and my family, to retire earlier, to improve your credit score, to reduce your anxiety. There's so many different reasons why you want to be debt free. But in this section here, the intention is that you write your reason to be debt free. So for me, I have struggled with this recently, and I'm going to be using a Crayola super tip, and it does come up green, but I don't mind. But I've been struggling with, why am I getting out of debt recently? Just because I'm so close to the line, and it pains me to put so much money to debt when I know I could be doing so much more with that money. I could be chucking it into sinking funds and stuff like that, but I still want to be accountable, and I still want to make that debt go. So I've got three reasons really to become debt free. Now, the first reason is to close the door on debt that doesn't serve me. I really want to be done with this debt-free journey in the nicest possible way. It has been a wild ride, and I've met so many incredible people along the way, but I want to close the door on my debt-free journey and be debt-free and feel freedom for the first time in my life, because I deserve it, but also I recognize that there'd be a point in my life where I have a mortgage, and that to me is debt, but that debt serves me. That is a useful debt for me. So I know that debt is going to be in my life for a long time, but I want to close the door on this debt because it doesn't serve me anymore. I've got my degree, I've bought the holidays with my credit card, I've done all the things with the debt, and it's done now, so I want to close the door on it. The second reason is to achieve my dream of owning my first home. And realistically, I know I can't do that until I have cleared my debt. So I know that I won't be able to really reach the maximum potential of my savings possibilities without clearing down my debt, because it will always be hanging over me. So once my debt is cleared, I can really, truly and aggressively save for this house. And the last reason, and I think it is sometimes not really tangible, but for me it means a lot, and it's to start my life. I feel like when I have no debt, all of my money is mine. I'm not giving other people all of my money. Do you know what I mean? After I pay my bills, the money that's left over is mine, and I can do whatever I want with that. The possibilities are so limitless once I have done that. So I truly feel that once my debt is gone, I will really, truly and honestly and earnestly be starting my life. So those are my three reasons to clear that last £650. And to me, they feel powerful, but I'd really be interested to know, what are your reasons for becoming debt free? The next page is another really important page. It is called your safe space. So in this place, you are envisioning yourself as a debt free person. You are telling yourself what your life is going to be like when you have no debt. So you've got four little blobs here, and in the middle it says picture yourself debt free. What are you doing? How are you feeling? What can you see or hear? And what excites you now that you're debt free? And for me, I want to fill in this page because I want to be able to refer back to this to be like, yes, this is why I'm doing it. It's just an extension to the previous page where you're finding a why, but you're actualizing and you're manifesting what is your life going to be like. For me, what am I doing when I'm debt free? Well, I plan to be debt free for December. So I know that in December, I'm going to be on holiday. While I'm on holiday, I will be relaxing. Now, when I say I'm relaxing, I don't just mean laying around. I am relaxed. I don't have money worries. Do you know what I mean? I might have minor money worries because that's who I am as a person, but I'm not concerned about debt. That's a huge weight lifted off of me. Do you know what I mean? So when I say I'm relaxing on holiday, I'm on holiday for a holiday that I've budgeted and I have no debt. What a wonderful place to be. How am I feeling? Well, first thing is, I'm not concerned about money. And also, something that is really important to me, I feel in control of my money. And I kind of feel that to an extent, but I know that that student loan company is always going to rob me of a couple of £100 each month. But when that's gone, there is no threat of that. I'm in control of every penny. So what can I see or hear? So the important thing for me is I can see black numbers in my bank account. So I haven't seen a red number in a while, but everything is black. I don't owe anything. There are no red negative numbers in my bank account. And I can hear myself worrying less. So the things that I tell myself and the things that I worry about all in my head, I can hear myself doing that a lot less. And that is because I have no debt. That's one less thing to worry about. Now, who I am as a person, I'm always going to worry about stuff, but I'm going to worry about money so much less. And that's where I want to be when I'm debt free. Now, the last page is what excites you. Now that you don't have any debt, what is exciting for you? I'm ready to aggressively save. Like, I'm ready to make that home happen. And then what is also super exciting to me is the potential for my future is limitless. Let me capitalize that. Limitless. So by that I mean, because I don't have debt, nothing is holding me back. I can do whatever I want. I'm at a point in my life where I'm saving for my own home and I can get whatever home I want. I can do whatever I want. Do you know what I mean? So this is a very important page to me, and both of them combined are really important in terms of envisioning what your life is going to be like. So why am I doing this, and what is it going to be like when I'm done? So those 2 pages for me are super important, but what we're moving into now is some worksheets, and these worksheets are very, very bright and very, very fun, but each one pertains to a debt each. So we have 8 of these pages. And 1 is for each debt. So I only need 1, and that's absolutely fine if you only need 1. But what we're going to do is I'm going to move into the first one, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to fill it out for myself. So let me grab my pen. So first off, you've got your debt name and your balance. So I'm going to write down my current balance for the debt. Now I'm going to write the total balance, what it was actually. So debt name is student loan. For me, but some people like to call their debts other things. And the total balance it was at the start when I first got it out was £14,931.41. That's how much I started it. Now I started my debt in 2016. That's how long I've had this debt. Now, what these little dots down here are for is for how much you're paying to your debt each month. So it could be just the minimum amount, it could be the minimum amount plus more. You've got space here for notes, you've got a barometer if you want to fill that in, and you've got a tracker with 100 dots in it. So you can do whatever you want with this page. It's completely up to you what you want to do with it. But for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to list up to October, from January to October, how much I put into my debt. So let's start in January. So I was still employed in January, and I did 134, and that came from my paycheck. So for the next 2 paychecks, this is how much my old job paid towards it. So it was a percentage of how much I was earning. So in February it was £120, and in March it was £117. So at that point I lost my job, and then the business was doing okay, but it wasn't enough for me to justify paying towards my student loan, and plus I was also trying to clear my loan as well. So everything took a backseat because I had to clear my loan. So in April, I did 0. In May, I did 0. And in June, I did 0. However, I did start to really tackle the beast in July. So in July, I paid £100 towards my student loan. June was 100. Sorry, June was 100. July was 100. August, I paid £300. And then in September, I did £200. And then this October that just passed, I did £300. So now that gives me my balance of 650.52. So down here, you've got places for notes. So for me, this is where I put my login details to pay off my student loan. I won't share that with you guys, gals and non-binary pals, because it's boring stuff. I could put affirmations, things that I want to remember, dates that I've paid everything, all sorts of stuff. You've also got here like a little test tube, and you can fill this in like a barometer, like as to how much it's done. And then over here, you've got a tracker. So you don't have to use these. It's, you know, they can just be things in the background or things like that. The notes page is the important part of it, and then how much you're paying down, because it's like really like motivational to see these get filled in. But it's also important to remember that sometimes you do put 0 towards like some debts, sometimes you just do. So for me, I'm going to be using this tracker. So let me go grab a new pen. So I know that from that 14,931, I've got 4% left of this debt to pay off. So I'm going to fill in everything except for the 4. Okay, that is me all coloured in. You probably would do it neater yourself if you weren't doing it for camera, but yeah, that's that. So I'm not gonna do anything else with this page. I'm just gonna leave it open because obviously I want to clear that last 650 in November and December. So I'm hoping to do something like £300 in November and maybe the last one 350 in December. But if I don't do it, I will just go on to a new page. But this booklet is designed to last you a whole year. So you could buy it now in October and start it in October and just leave these ones blank because you can fill them out in the new year. You don't have to start this in January. So yeah, really pleased with that. Might do the barometer at another point, might fill it in once it's all done, but I'll populate this with a bit of information, but it's stuff that I can't really show you on the channel anyway. So let's move over to the last couple of pages in this booklet. So obviously you've got your different coloured debts, and there's 8 of these to match the 8 that you would list at the front. So my favourite page out of all of these ones is this double page spread. I like this sort of chartreusey green and this sort of closer to tealy green here. I really love it, but I think the pink and the purple are going to be quite popular, but I tried to do it in rainbow order. And then we have this page here. So this is your emergency fund page. So if you haven't yet saved up your first £1,000 for your mini baby step and mini emergency fund, this page, it will be a really good place for you to track that. Each circle would be 10. So for me, I've done this, so I'm going to go ahead and tick all of these off. Okay, I think I've got them all. Yeah, so this is where you track that. So it'd be really satisfying to tick these off as you go along. Some people like to do crosses, but I find a tick much more of a positive affirmation for me. Then on this page, you have your notes page. Now, this is where you'd write things that are important to your debts. Maybe you might want to put passwords down. Maybe you want to put positive affirmations. For me, what I want to remind myself is if you have an idea, believe in yourself, and make it happen. And I'm telling myself that because I had the idea to do this debt book when I started my journey. And I never did it because I just didn't believe that anybody would want to see what I was doing. And I didn't believe that anybody would want to support me with it. But we're in a world where we trust Ira, so I'm going to believe in myself more, and when I come up with something, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. So let's show you the very final page. So this is your total debt payoff page. You might not finish this in a year, so you might need multiple of these books. You might need this book, and then maybe the next year you'll go on to something different. But for me, I hope to finish this year, so I'm going to use this page. So this is your total debt payoff. So for me, my starting balance, so I know I said that my student loan was 14,000, but my starting balance when I really started to get my teeth into my debt was 13,253 and 5. That was my total starting balance. Now I'm not going to fill my end balance in yet because my end balance should be 0. So on this page there are 100 circles, and it's really similar to the emergency fund, but for me each circle will be 132.53. So when I look at how many 132.53s I have left, 5 of them. Okay, so I'm going to use this color, and do you know what? Rather than coloring in, I'm going to cross them off with this color. So I'll be back in a sec. That is done now. So yeah, I'm literally itching to fill out those 5. I literally just cannot wait till it's done. So I think, because they're 100 and how much are they each? 132. If I do 300 next month, I can do 2, and then I'll just have those last 3 to do, and it'd be so good. So let me just walk you through this debt diary one last time. As I said, they are available on my Etsy store. Have a think about whether it would help you or not. I certainly think that if I had this at the start, it would have definitely helped me. So here it is. Here's your front cover. Beautiful pastel, unassuming. It doesn't look like you've got a big vulgar book that's all about debt. It's literally just your lovely little cute, well, not little, but your cute little booklet. Okay, then we move into how to pay off your debt. You've got loads of different methods that you could use, but you don't have to do them. You could do the emotional approach that I could. Then you've got your debt confession. So you list all your debt, you own your number, but you know that it does not define you. It is not the most important thing about you, and you are going to conquer that number. Then you move into your 2 pages about envisioning. So you figure out why you actually are on this journey. Why are you paying off your debt? And then you move into your safe space where you can honestly tell yourself and envision what is it actually going to be like once your debt is gone. Then you are being practical. You are talking about each debt, and you are tracking your progress. You're figuring out how much you're going to pay each month. You're using your notes to share your passwords and things like that, and you are listing how much you're paying off, and you're being really practical with yourself, and you're having a really honest approach with yourself about how it's happening, and you're not beating yourself up if you have to pay 0 to a particular debt, as long as you are moving forward with your life. You have 8 opportunities to do that with all debts that you own, and if you own more than 8 debts, you might want 2 books. You might want to just focus on the top 8 depending on what your method is. Then you have your emergency fund, and this is something that you'll work on hopefully at the same time as paying down debt. Every tenner helps, yeah? So your little tracker here that just helps you along your journey. And then you've got your note page. So your note page is for really important password details, things that relate to your total debt, but also affirmations, things that you need to tell yourself to keep yourself motivated along your journey. And then on the last page, you have your tracker for your total debt payoff. So you can really envision where you are at. Now, I am here after a year and a half of blinking hard work, and I wish I did something like this along the way, because I am so motivated to literally tick off those last 5 squares. But if I had this at here, I don't know where I'd be now. I might be debt free now, but you never know. But yeah, this is available on my Etsy store now. I truly hope you like it, because I didn't make this for me because I don't have very much debt left. I made it for you, and I hope you like it, and I hope you can use it. And yeah, that is me done. So thank you so much for being with me this week. I'll hand you back to the big man himself. Hi guys, gals and non-bypass, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love, make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. And that is all I have for you this week, besties. There are no new patrons since the last video, so I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who is supporting me, has supported me, continues to support me. It truly means the world to me. And I know I say that every week and it's starting to sound like just something I say, but I truly, from the bottom of my heart, absolutely mean that the patrons and people who support me on Etsy and buymeacoffee.com, besties. You're paying my bill, so thank you so much. Like, I cannot truly ever articulate how much you mean to me. Thank you so much. And if you would like to support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the description. You will not regret it, bestie. And that is all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you like the debt diaries. They are available on my Etsy store now. Have a good think about whether they're going to be a right thing for you, because they might just be something. I kind of wish I had one at the start of my journey, but obviously I didn't invent it yet, so I'll have to do with it now, and it's a wonderful tool for me to keep myself motivated. But I digress. That is the end of the video. So I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And I will see you again very, very soon, bestie. Thank you so much for watching. The next video is a vlog. I'll see you at the vlog, bestie. Thanks so much for watching, bestie. Bye-bye.